When you know it's a good connection is when you think, how obvious, but how cool. Why didn't I think of that? That's the hallmark of a good idea. You grew into understanding how to run a business because you and your husband started a business and you handled everything: finance, marketing, sales, customer relations, basically everything that isn't making the product and putting a smiley face on it. Mm-hmm. And so you have your business chops from the School of Hard Knocks, I believe, right?
Yes.
And then along the way, you also start to figure out that people don't understand who they are. They're trying to be all kinds of things to other people. So you start to figure out, you know what? I need to help people figure out their true self and to be brave enough and courageous enough to present that to the world. Mm-hmm. Is there another component to what it is that you are able to do and help people with?
I know that we talk about personal branding a lot, and people think because I do have a strong personal brand that I do personal branding. And I've only recently accepted the realization that I kind of do. Only because part of how you build your brand as a business, one, you have to have a personal brand and a business brand. So you cannot build over here if you haven't established over here. So establishing that personal brand that feeds the business, that endorses the business. I don't want you out here pitching and feeling all kind of sideways. Let's learn how to endorse this shit. Just like you endorse any other business or anything else that you love, you can endorse your business and not feel creepy and salesy and all that kind of stuff. So it's with the understanding that, okay, let's deal with this personal brand, and then we're going to find a way to build it into the business brand. One of the things I help with, and we talked about it, is the 2-word brand. I love 2-word branding because it can set the foundation for how you scale, even if you don't have a full-on brand strategy. Being an empathic bitch or being the ghetto country grandmother. Being the ghetto country grandmother, I don't talk about I'm on platforms. No, I got a house on YouTube. I got a house on TikTok. So I talk about it in that format. I talk about my clients being my brand babies. And so all of it comes from me being a grandmother and the nurturing that I do. I don't help you. I nurture you. So understanding these things, when you come up with a 2-word brand, that you can actually scale it into something more. But you have to realize where to draw the line. It's like, okay, my personal brand starts to end here. Now I'm falling into business brand territory. And I have to let everybody else magnify this while I maintain my personal brand. It's just like you are Chris Doe, and people see you as a brand, but you're always endorsing the future. You don't pitch it. You don't sell it. You just talk about it. And a lot of people think that, oh, well, Chris is selling. Chris don't sell. I've yet to see you sell anything, but you constantly endorse the Future Pro Group. Even now, the first time I ever seen you do something like along the lines of selling was when you started talking about your European tour. That's the only time. But any other time, you don't pitch shit. And people got to understand, sweetie, you don't have to always beat people over the head with what it is that you offer. But because you built up that authority and that expertise, it's like I can just walk in a room and say my name.
For people who are not familiar with this concept, what is a 2-word brand to you?
A 2-word brand could be something as obvious as like I say, me being the ghetto country grandmother. But then my actual 2-word brand is more of a description of being the empathic bitch. So it sets the tone of how I will work with you. It's like, sweetie, I got all the love, but my love comes with violence when it needs to. And so you're able to work everything around that, and it makes the conversation more engaging. If I walk into a room, people say, what do you do? I'm an empathic bitch. Wait, what? And it's funny because people are afraid to actually use the word bitch when I say it. So it makes them a little uncomfortable, but they still want to know more. And right. So when you use a 2-word brand, whether it's in how you learn to use it in your bio, how you learn to use it in a conversation at a conference, at a networking event, there's all these different ways that you can use it and lean into it to establish your authority and your expertise. And people need to stop making it so complicated. Actually own the fact that this is who you are. You recently did a podcast with Sean, and Sean tells everybody, Phyllis told me to lean into my crazy. No, I told you to own your crazy, but you want to use lean all the time. You go ahead and lean, dude. But it's with that understanding. Own the crazy that you want to put out there. Don't let somebody else weaponize it against you. Use it as your strength. Own something. Be okay with it.
So when people ask you what you do, people get this thing. It's called diarrhea of the mouth. They start shooting all kinds of things, and it's like, it's too much. It's too much. You're taking up too much time, too much space, and I like you, but I don't like you that much. So we know a couple of things of the way the human brain works. If you make me work too hard, it consumes more energy, and I'm going to fall asleep. That's what happens in lecture halls. We've done it. We've been a part of it. We've been on both sides of that, right?
Yes.
So what you have to do is you have to fight against complexity, because complex things are hard to understand. They're hard to remember, and you're just asking too much from the other person. So we got to make it simple. And so what we find is if we can distill it down to one word, that would be incredible. And next best is 2 words. Now you have a 1-word brand, which is brand mother. And I love that. Basically, you've smashed 2 words together. When you know it's a good connection is when you think, how obvious, but how cool. Why didn't I think of that? That's the hallmark of a good idea.